My Amazon FBA business did not get the expected results I wanted because I didn't take my mentor's advice, and I'm going to share that with you today. I'm going to share 3 secrets that most Amazon sellers get wrong when they get started. But first, my name is Jenny. I was a teacher for years. Then after my first son was born, I knew I needed a change. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and help around the house. I also wanted to make some extra income, so I started researching side hustles. Then I found this YouTube Amazon seller named Travis with free tutorials that teach you how to start your Amazon FBA business step by step. I was inspired and my husband supported me, so I decided to join Travis's Amazon FBA program. Now that I had a mentor, I just needed a product. That's where my son gave me the inspiration to create the product that I have today. I wanted him to learn English and Spanish, but I couldn't find any ABC puzzles that had bilingual examples that started with the same letter. For example, A is for apple, but in Spanish, it starts with an M, like manzana. So my product was born, Cursive for Tots. Now let me show you how easy it is, because all I needed was to follow the program. And the first step was research, which was my first cost in order to launch my product. So it cost me $49 for Helium 10, but I used Helium 10 to validate that there are a lot of parents searching for ABC puzzles. And if you need help validating your product, you can use Helium 10. And to unlock all the premium features, there is a link in the description with a discount code, which will give you the biggest discount anywhere for Helium 10. It then cost me $513 to design my logo and packaging. I first started with a sketch on paper and then made it on Canva, and finally hired a Fiverr designer because I went through the entire process while raising my son. And I know a lot of sellers were able to start their Amazon FBA business while being full-time parents, and even when they were working full-time. All because I joined the Amazon FBA program. I was able to follow a step-by-step process, and I got exclusive access to Facebook groups with other sellers. Now, if you want to get your logo or your packaging designed, you can use Upwork, Fiverr, or 99 Designs. I then spent $0 to get photos taken of my product. I took the photos myself because I needed to save money at this point in the process. However, Travis has partnered up with a company called FBA Creatives that will do the creative work for you. They're a group of Amazon experts that can create your product images, logo and branding, and your packaging. Plus, build your entire listing, description, and bullet points. There's a link down below. I then spent $313 to get both my LLC and DBA. I then spent $105 for a registered agent. Now there's a secret to protecting your business. Now you only need one of the two to protect your business. Getting both the DBA and LLC has costed me $1,000. I should have just gotten one and done more research, because with an LLC and a DBA, you have to file your taxes quarterly for each one, which I had never done before, and I didn't realize it was something you had to do. So I ended up filing late and getting slapped with late fees. So do your research, contact an accountant or a tax professional. Trust me, you'll save money in the long run. Now, there is a video below that teaches you how you can protect your business legally, but essentially an LLC or a limited liability company offers legal protection as it separates your business from your personal asset, or a DBA, or doing business as, costs $99 on LegalZoom. It's the business name you use to operate under for tax purposes. It's great for marketing, but it won't offer you any legal protection if you get sued. My next cost was $350 for a trademark. I watched some YouTube videos on how I could do it myself on the USPTO website, although I did get some help from my cousin who is an IP lawyer. Then it cost me $6,620 to get my product made by my manufacturer. Initially, I spent $268 on Upwork to find a manufacturer in Central America, but it was too expensive. So I decided to use Alibaba to find a manufacturer in China. And I narrowed it down to 2 factories. And I decided to go with the one that replied faster because I wanted to move fast. But before I could order my product, I did have to spend $327 on samples. When I received my initial sample, I realized that the X sound was making the incorrect sound. So I chose a new word for that letter. Then I approved my next sample. I then spent $526 on quality inspection distribution, and product testing. Then I was ready to order the product. If you're looking to find a manufacturer for your own product, you can use Alibaba.com, where there are hundreds of overseas manufacturers. There's also ThomasNet that can help you find manufacturers exclusively in the US. Or you can even just use Google. My next cost was $1,380 to get my product from China to the US. I chose sea shipping, and I was actually able to organize shipping through connections that I made through Travis's Amazon FBA program. Sea shipping was cheaper and actually a lot faster than I thought it would be. It only took about 3 weeks. Typically, shipping via air is faster, but it's much more expensive. If you ship via sea, it will be more economical, but it will take longer. Then it cost me $30 to get my UPC codes. I got them from gs1.org, which is the only place you're allowed to source UPC if you're selling on Amazon. UPC stands for Universal Product Code. It's the barcode on the back of any product that you scan at the checkout. And it cost me $39.99 to set up my Amazon seller account. You need that to list and sell your product on Amazon. I did also spend $177 on a website. I used Hostinger and Google domains for that, plus $87 on some t-shirts, $385 for a business mailbox to make my business more official, and finally around $105 on office supplies to track all of my sales. I was ready to launch, but I had already spent $12,200 on starting my business. At this point, I had 2 toddlers and I was in my 3rd trimester with baby number 3. I was permanently exhausted, but I was still excited to launch my product on Amazon. There are over 230 million customers in the US alone, and over 400,000 of third-party sellers. People like you and me are making over $100,000 a year on Amazon. I launched just before Thanksgiving in late November 2024, and in those first 2 weeks, I made over $300 selling on Amazon. But it's important that you know that this is revenue, not profit. I sold 14 units and it cost me $55. And there are a lot of fees you need to pay when selling on Amazon. I paid $52 for the Amazon 15% referral fee, which is what you pay to sell on the Amazon platform. It's worth it because Amazon has over 310 million customers, and no other marketplace has that opportunity for sellers. Then I paid $105, which is the fee to have Amazon pick, pack, and ship your product out. FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. And it's worth it because it's so much easier than spending time and money packaging my product and going back and forth to the post office every day. But for my first month selling on Amazon, I made $136 in profit. For my first couple of weeks, this was amazing. I shared the launch with my friends and family and on the Facebook group from the Amazon FBA program. And so many people supported me. But after I had that rush of purchases from friends and family, sales cooled off in my next month. I made $224 in my second month selling on Amazon. But after taking out all the expenses, I made $72. I definitely noticed the dip in sales, but thought everything was just leveling out. I wanted to make sure I had some continued interest and sales over time. So I invested $15 in PPC, and PPC is pay per click, where you can pay to have your listing at the top of the search result, and you pay a small fee every time someone clicks on your listing. Now, I didn't really harness the power of PPC, but I did learn something about it, and it's something you don't find out until later as a new seller. And this really could have made me a lot more money had I known this sooner. When you understand PPC and take full advantage of keywords and the different kinds of PPC campaigns, you could potentially make thousands of extra dollars in sales. But I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't spend enough time or money figuring it out because this was all for additional income while I was raising toddlers and going through my 3rd trimester. So when you're ready to launch your product on Amazon, it's really important that you learn Amazon PPC. Now, there's a lot of resources, even in the course that I took, but it's something that most sellers, including myself, will sometimes skip because it may seem complicated. But PPC, the business, all the sales became the last thing on my mind because at the end of December, I gave birth to my new baby. Over the next 6 months, I only made $300 in revenue. This is just a little more than what I made in 1 month selling on Amazon. To make it worse, after taking out all my expenses, I ended up with $105 in profit. I did what I could, but I was fully immersed with raising a newborn, and I couldn't pay more attention to Amazon. I really thought I would have more time to focus on growth, but my family took priority. So in 8 months on Amazon, I've only made $974 in revenue. But remember, revenue is not profit. After taking out all the expenses, advertising, and other fees, I'm left with just $310 in profit. This obviously isn't a living wage. It's just to support my family as we grow. And every little bit helps. Again, family was my entire focus. It was why I started this business, but I wish I would have known this biggest secret earlier. And I'm going to share it with you right now. So pay attention so you don't make the same mistake. This was something shared throughout the Amazon FBA program, and it cost me a lot of money because I lost out on a lot of sales. The secret is you need to crush your launch on Amazon. A lot of people don't realize, but Amazon is a search engine, but the products at the top of the search results get the most sales. To get up there, you need great day one sales and continued growth over the next few weeks. In Travis's Amazon FBA program, he guides you through growing on social media, building a crowdfunding campaign that can spread the word and create fans around your product. The possibility of partnering up with influencers, and also when you start selling, to have customers waiting to buy your product immediately. Unfortunately, my launch was just messaging friends and family. I tried Instagram, but I didn't get enough engagement. But I know that I did my best. And even though I haven't made thousands yet, I know I created a helpful premium product. And now my kids are a little older. I'm ready to continue to grow and spread the message to thousands of families online. I decided to pull out my inventory from Amazon and relaunch with a better strategy, because the secret to success really relies on a successful launch. And I'm happy to be part of a program that supports me through this process. I didn't make $100,000 like so many other sellers. And even better, I know what to do going forward. I'm going to go through Travis's course and follow the steps that I skipped, because I know selling on Amazon can be life-changing. Joining Travis's Amazon FBA program, the Passion Product Formula, really changed my perspective on business. I can see what is possible, and having the skills to achieve those results is priceless. And I'm really grateful for all the mentors in the program as well. If you join it and follow the steps, you won't regret it. And if you skip some steps, there are some amazing coaches in the program that will not abandon you. They will help you through it. You'll get over 100 step-by-step tutorials, one-on-one coaching, and exclusive Q&As. There is a link in the description to join. But if you aren't ready for that yet, Travis has a completely free 10-hour Amazon FBA course that you can get by clicking right here.